Happy Monday, everyone. This will be our last Monday of doing kindergarten work together. So kind of an exciting time of the year too, as we're wrapping up all of our learning that we've done and some of the familiar things that we keep doing, like the pledge. So let's stand up and say the pledge, and then we'll get started with our first review poem today about those naughty little leprechauns. All right, here we go, everyone. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, and we have right here our poem about I'm a little leprechaun. Let's do crossover work today. Get those arms up in the air, crossover, and Mrs. Oberg has to get rid of the bottom of the next poem so we don't read the wrong words. Here we go. I'm a little leprechaun. I'm a little leprechaun dressed in green, the tiniest man that you've ever seen. If you ever catch me, it is told, I'll give you my pot of gold. And boys and girls, there's lots of rhyming words in that poem. Green, seen, told, gold. And that was the time of year where you were maybe making some leprechaun traps at your house, and we were trying to make sure those leprechauns stayed out of mischief in our classroom. You made some big, amazing traps. I can still see those traps you made back in the block corner. And you had all kinds of little signs up, and you had little cameras that were watching for those leprechauns. I think you did a pretty good job. So it was a fun time. And as you can see, you was one of our snap words. But we were changing the word I into a contraction where two words smash together. I'm, I'll, I am, and I will. And now let's talk about our reading work for today on Monday. So, Super Reader Journal, response journals, remember, 3 days out of the week you can do this. I am so impressed with the stories that I have seen you sending me pictures of. Way to go, kindergarten. And it really makes me happy. Lots of you are loving whatever stories you're writing about. They were getting 5 stars, and you were showing me pictures of your favorite characters. And I like how you're writing about your favorite part using good sentence work with capitals, spaces between our words, and then periods, or I saw an exclamation at the end because you were so excited about it. So enjoy doing this with any stories that you're listening to from me or reading yourself. And make sure, take time to read for at least 10 minutes. And great reading are all of these poems. And maybe you can spend some time with a highlighter and go on a snap word search in those poems. Okay? So, reading, important work like that, let's do it every day. And then our job today is for math work to play, I don't know, maybe Mrs. Oberg doesn't have it in front of me. Oh, here it is. Quack Attack. Today, play Quack Attack. And the different things that Mrs. Oberg might have put in there for you to play Quack Attack with might be number bonds. I put a whole pack of number bonds in your bag that went home. So maybe you want to play it with these sheets that we have, or maybe you want to play it today with number bonds. Either way is fine. And if you're out of any of these sheets, plain piece of paper works great. make those number sentences or number bonds, and enjoy some quack and spill. The next thing we need to think about is our review journal. Today, you have a page that we have done a lot of work on. Today, you need to write 5 different ways to make the number 15. Now, a few weeks ago, I told you you had to choose a number that couldn't be more than 10, and you had to make a number poster. Here's what I saw on those number posters. I saw tally marks to make the number. I saw money to make the number. I saw addition and subtraction number sentences. I saw 10 frames. Mrs. Oberg saw like pictures that represented that number, like there were 6 little kittens. I saw finger patterns that made the number. So today you need to make 5 ways to make 15. That's your job. And the next page is one of these function machines again. But you know what? We forgot to head to our second poem of the day about sound power back when we were talking about our reading. So we need to do our sound power work. This was such a great poem because it not only is a way to keep things in our brain, it used all the strategies we talked about every day when we were making our, or when we were working in our reading time with our anchor charts, and we used all of these strategies, and you need to keep on using these strategies. So you decide what action you want to do. If you want to stand up and do crossovers, if you want to balance on one foot, if you want to do a clap, pat pattern, you get ready and let's do We Have Sound Power. Remember, there's some big, bold words in here. We need to use those voices loud. We have sound power, yes we do. We have sound power, how about you? Look at the picture, say the first sound. Move your eyes to the end and read what you found. We have sound power, yes we do. We have sound power, how about you? And kindergarten, all kinds of different punctuation too. Period, for just regular voice at talking. A question mark and period. And then what's down here? Of course, big bold words, so we read it really loud. We know it's an exclamation point. And then it asks one last question. We have sound power, yes we do. We have sound power, how about you? And this is such an important strategy. That sound power will get you through tough words, and persistence power and sound power together are your best helpers when you're reading. So keep practicing that. Now we will go to that next page in our little math journal because I have our little function machine right behind it here. So if you remember, the other day we learned about this little function machine. He's like a robot. So we put a number in, and then we do our work inside, and then out comes another number. So today, if you take a peek at this page, our function machine says, what's my rule? It's asking you the question. So the other day we put a number in, we knew what the rule was, and then a number came out. Now today you have to figure out what is happening inside the function machine. When a 3 goes in, so let's put a 3 in. And 5 comes out. So we have to figure out what goes on in here. If 3 goes in, and 5 comes out. What is that rule? Well, we can do this a couple ways. We can use our hands. That's a good thing to do. They're always with us. We have 3. So 2 more made 5. Did we add or did we subtract? We added. So if 3 goes in, let's try this rule. Plus 2, 3, 4, 5. Does it work? It does. So the rule is 3 plus 2 equals 5. Now you need to make sure that rule works for all of the rest of the numbers. And if it does, then you write plus 2 right there. But don't write it until you check all of the numbers out, okay? And today you get a bonus page and then you're all done with your math review book. So your bonus page is the last page. You are going to do some problem solving and figure out what the missing pockets have in them, and then you need to make your own little number sentences underneath. So if you want to spend time on it today, if not, my job for you was to finish this whole math journal up this week. So that's the math journal. And remember, I know some of you were maybe going to save it till later in the summer. Perfect idea. Just make sure you get it done. It has all our important kindergarten work in it. And go back and revisit it over the summer, even if you did it all, because it's great stuff for your brain to have ready to go for next year. Now, let's think about our counting today. We're going to count by ones, but we're not starting at 1. And we're going to do running in place counting today. So you need to stand up and you're going to run in place, and we're going to start at 42 and you're going to count all the way to 71. So you got to get up and run in place, start at 42 and end at 71. Whoops, I should put it right there. All right, get ready, go. And of course, I know you're doing your work and I'm going to keep talking so that you can see what the rest of our work for today is too. Well, you know that we've been working on our little story that reminded me so much of kindergartners, Leo the Late Bloomer, how Leo was learning to do everything at his own pace, and then all of a sudden it was all clicking along and he was able to do his work that everyone was kind of worried about. Poor Leo. Well, I want to show you another book that I'm going to read to you today on our videos. Giraffes Can't Dance. Now, I know lots of you have heard this story before too, and this is another story that really reminds me of how all of you, like Leo bloomed, how all of you learned to do some cool, amazing things in kindergarten from the beginning of the year until now at the end of our kindergarten year. So today when I read you this story, I think you're going to really like it because it will remind you of exactly what we're going to finish up today, of how you bloomed or you learned to do things that used to be hard. So the page you're going to work on today, you will see, is your number page. Mrs. Oberg saved your beginning of the kindergarten number page for you. And now we're going to do our end of the year number page. And it says, I couldn't write my numbers. And what do we write? Now, frog jump, capital N, N-O-W-I, Can, C-A-N, one of our snap words. So you write now I can for your sentence, and then write your numbers all the way to the end. Remember, smile corner is hiding right inside there, so start your numbers in the right corner, except for that rule breaker number 9 who gets to start in the wrong corner. And write your numbers and see how you bloomed and how much better those numbers are looking today. And then you're going to finish up the very last page of this story. And the very last page, of course, says, I bloomed. And it's kind of like the other day when you made your own self-portrait. This is a picture of you in kindergarten. Maybe you want to draw something favorite from our kindergarten year beside you. Or maybe you want to draw your favorite thing you like to play with in kindergarten. Or maybe you just want to draw you. But it says, I bloomed. So it has to have you in it, okay? And remember everything we know about Matt Man. I was so impressed with all of those self-portraits I've been seeing. So when you're done with this, save this book, because this will be a fun keepsake for you to go back and look at. And it's all finished up now because that was our last page in our journal. Or I shouldn't say journal, that was a book. And then the one other thing I want to talk about quick today is those bean seeds. I bet you're seeing some action. So make sure, write down in your journal what you're seeing. Think about the sentence writing, think about the spaces between words, and science writers write realistic pictures. So think about the colors that you're using, or maybe you're just using a pencil to draw and show. But keep it up in your journal so that you make sure you have a good record of what's going on with those seeds. I hope they're not growing up to the sky yet. All right, you have a fabulous day, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye, everyone.